A deafening roar, a skyscraper engulfed in flames, a black plume of smoke blotting out the midday sun. This wasn't the apocalypse, it was New York City on January 14, 2025. It began with an explosion, a monstrous detonation that shook the very foundations of Manhattan. People poured onto the streets, their faces a mixture of confusion and fear, just in time to witness the unthinkable. A wildfire, tearing through the heart of the city that never sleeps. The air, thick with smoke and the acrid smell of burning plastic, scratched at the back of your throat. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder as they raced towards the inferno. Panic spread like wildfire itself, a wave of human fear crashing against the stoic facades of the city's towering skyscrapers. This wasn't supposed to happen here, not in the concrete jungle, not in the city that boasted of its indomitable spirit. Yet here it was, chaos and destruction, painted against the backdrop of a once familiar skyline now distorted by the flames. 11:37 a.m. It started with a tremor, a seismic jolt that rattled windows and set car alarms blaring. Then, the explosion. Witnesses describe a blinding flash of light followed by a deafening roar that echoed through the canyons of Manhattan. The source, a high-rise office building in the financial district. 11:42 a.m. flames, fueled by an unknown source, erupted from the building, quickly spreading to neighboring structures. The fire, aided by strong winds, jumped from rooftop to rooftop, a ravenous beast consuming everything in its path. 11:55 a.m. The first responders arrived, a sea of red and blue lights cutting through the thick smoke. Firefighters, their faces grim, battled the blaze with everything they had, but the fire, fueled by an unseen force, seemed unstoppable. 12:15 p.m. The mayor issued a state of emergency, his voice trembling as he addressed the terrified city. Evacuation orders were issued for Lower Manhattan, sending thousands fleeing into the streets, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. Amidst the chaos and destruction, stories of extraordinary courage began to emerge. Firefighters, risking their lives, charged into burning buildings, searching for trapped occupants. Police officers, their faces blackened by soot, directed terrified civilians to safety. Doctors and nurses working tirelessly in overwhelmed hospitals treated the injured, their faces etched with exhaustion but their resolve unbroken. These were the heroes of the hour, the brave men and women who stood defiant against the inferno, beacons of hope in a city shrouded in fear. "I've never seen anything like it," said one veteran firefighter, his voice hoarse with exhaustion. "The flames were like something out of a nightmare, but we knew we had to get people out, that's what we do." Section 4, Aftermath. An anguished city grapples with loss. As the smoke began to clear, the true extent of the devastation became horrifyingly clear. Buildings reduced to smoldering skeletons, homes and businesses destroyed, lives lost. The city, draped in a pall of grief, mourned its dead and grappled with the enormity of the loss. The cause of the initial explosion remained a mystery, though authorities confirmed they were treating it as a potential act of terrorism. The investigation, they promised, would be thorough and relentless. The city that never sleeps was shrouded in an eerie silence, the usual cacophony of city life replaced by the mournful wail of sirens and the murmur of prayers. Section 5. New York strong, a city united in tragedy. Yet, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, the spirit of New York City refused to be extinguished. Across the city, communities rallied to support those affected by the disaster. Donation centers overflowed with food, clothing, and supplies. Volunteers, their hearts heavy but their resolve firm, worked tirelessly to provide comfort and aid to those in need. The city that never sleeps had been brought to its knees, but it would rise again. Stronger, more united, forever marked by the tragedy, but forever defined by its resilience. The investigation into the cause of the fire continued, but for now, the city focused on healing, on rebuilding, on honoring the memory of those lost by forging a brighter future from the ashes of the disaster.